lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, not likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into...
What is up, Steeler Nation? It's your boy Daniel J, coming back with you with another preview show of the Pittsburgh Steelers' upcoming matchup, as this weekend or tomorrow they take on the Baltimore Ravens in a rival game. This is going to be a good one, guys. I think this is going to be a good matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm looking forward to this game. You know, the Steelers are coming off of a 2-game win streak, so momentum is going in the right direction. The team is starting to gel. The playbook looks like it's opening up a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to this game. And before we're going to do some questions and stuff, and I'm going to preview this game. But before we get into that, I kind of want to give everybody a little bit of an update. We're going to be doing a couple of different things this upcoming week and going on for the rest of the season. But on Thursday nights, I'll be doing a live show where we'll be putting the stream link out there, and you guys, the viewers, can join in and join on and be a part of a panel, and we can talk some Steelers football. And so look forward to that. Look forward to talking to you guys and bringing you guys on the show. Please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified and you're able to come out on that show. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-7. Pittsburgh Steelers win this game. Your possibility there. The Steelers are in playoff, could make a playoff push. I think this is one of the more important games that are left in the season, if not the most important game left on the season. After this one would probably be the season finale against the Ravens. And so, but before we get into all that, this is the first one. This is the biggest step. This is a division rival. And so typically when you're playing a division team and you're playing against the Baltimore Ravens, players that are injured, records, those things go out the window. It's usually a tough matchup, a hard-nosed battle that's going to go to the end. Usually a majority of these games end in 3 points, including a game a couple years back during the whole pandemic, where there was some protocols there that really crippled the Baltimore Ravens, and everybody thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were just going to steamroll them. Nope, not the case. And so, these are new players, new, probably, there's a new scheme, offensive game plan, things of that nature. And so, with that being said, in my opinion, it's a different team, but it's still the same organization. It's still the same rival. So I don't anticipate this game getting out of hand in either direction. I think this is going to be a close battle. You look at, in my opinion, you have guys like, George Pickens, who was a little bit upset last week. And I think that when you look at Deontay Johnson being injured a certain portion of the week this week, I think George Pickens is going to be highlighted in this game. You know how they say it, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, so to speak. And so I think he's going to be highlighted in this game, and I think that's a good thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Putting the ball or giving the ball to George Pickens, I think is a great thing. He's a guy that, in my opinion, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's more like a 75-25, where I think that this young man is going to go up and come down with the ball 3 out of 4 times. And so I think he has that type of talent, that type of skill. And I think that the Steelers need to, target him more, create a game plan so that it gives him the ball early and often, and in a position where he can make he can do something after the catch as well. A lot of the catches that I've seen George Pickens have to make are ones where he's, falling to the ground, trying to keep his feet in bounds. They're acrobatic. I think there was the one touchdown that he has where he was able to create yards after the catch. I'd like to see him get those opportunities. I want to see him get the ball in positions where, he can do something after the catch, because I think he's a dynamic player. And I think with his speed and his agility and physicality that he's going to be able to get up the field and make some, do something when it comes to operating with the football. So I'm looking forward to him being a pivotal role, a huge role in this upcoming game against the Baltimore Ravens. I anticipate there being some slants, things of that nature. The Baltimore Ravens are a team that like to blitz. And so, when you got a team that's going, they're just blitzing all the time, you got to get your hot routes. And fortunately for us, Kenny Pickett against the blitz has been pretty amazing. So this is a good game and a good matchup for both of those young men. And I think that we could see a big game out of them. I just hope that, we take that next step and convert field goals into touchdowns. I've been saying this before, if you look earlier on this year, the offense couldn't move the ball. The execution was poor. Game plan was predictable because of the newness of the offense and how they were starting to gel together and how they were learning the offense at that portion of the season. It just wasn't working. And they went from 3 and outs to be able to possess the ball and maintain it, and then to putting points on the board. Now, those are 3 points. Now, the next step in this offense, from my opinion, is to turn those those field goals into touchdowns. And so if the Pittsburgh Steelers can do that, they will be in for a big game. I think that's the next step. I don't fault the Pittsburgh Steelers if they don't take that step in this game. I don't fault them if they put up, 3-4 field goals and a touchdown, something of that nature. And the reason being is because these are 2 division teams that know each other very, very well. And as new as the Steelers offense is, the core of what makes the Steeler a Steeler and what they do, the Ravens are familiar with. And so that's why, like I said before, it's really never mattered who is playing, and it's always been a very close game. And so, those records, those things go out the window when it comes to one of these types of games. But with that being said, it is a home game. There's some momentum going into it. There's a possibility that the Steelers do take that next step. If George Pickens is highlighted and they're throwing in the ball early and often, I think he makes plays. And so that might be a contributor to converting field goals into touchdowns. I mean, you look at last week, Deontay Johnson had he had a third down conversion at the very least, but a possible touchdown that he dropped on a third down. Then I don't think George Pickens is going to do. I think he catches that ball and walks into the end zone. And so those are things, in my opinion, that we might be able to see a corner turn, so to speak. Let's go over some injury statuses. Right now, Deontay Johnson is questionable with a hip. He's been in and out of the practice this week. That also leads me to believe that George Pickens is going to be targeted early and often. Malik Reed was questionable with a back. TJ Watt questionable with some ribs. TJ Watt's been beat up, and it's pretty unfortunate that his backup Malik Reed is also dealing with some injury. It's the depth there is just not where it needs to be, and that could pose some issues, especially against a team that likes to run, against a team that likes to do a quarterback option where the QB is going to hold on to the ball a few times and make the edge rusher, which would be one of these 2 guys, have to make a decision or make a athletic choice to tackle one or the other. When you have an injury to those guys, it's going to slow down their ability and perhaps their processing as well. And this is going to be a huge game. Hopefully, TJ Watt is healthier than he was last week and a little bit, back to his normal self. Let's see. As far as the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson is doubtful with a knee. They still haven't ruled him out yet, but more than likely, Tyler Huntley is going to be starting for the Baltimore Ravens. Their offensive lineman, Patrick McCarry, is questionable with a toe. Outside linebacker Delshon Phillips is questionable with a quad. Patrick Green, linebacker, questionable with a thigh. Their guard, Kevin Zilter, is questionable with a knee. Christian Welch is questionable in concussion. And cornerback Daryl Worley is out with a hamstring. And so they're dealing with a few injuries as well. I'm looking at a couple on the offensive line and at the linebacker position. So, the Steelers have been doing fairly well and fairly, a pretty good, decent job in the run game. So I think this is a game that they're going to need to continue in that fashion. Najee Harris has been getting the workload. I anticipate Jalen Warren being back to having more carries than he did last week, being one more week removed from the hamstring injury that sidelined him a couple weeks ago. And so when you see those types of things, I think that the Steelers are going to attack with the run and set up the pass with that. And, that's been working for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last few weeks. They've been running the ball with effectiveness and basically, in my opinion, having an identity for the first time in a while. The Steelers didn't seem like they had an identity, even under, last Ben Roethlisberger's last year. It was, 2-minute drill, and that was basically it. And so here, it seems like the Steelers are starting to get what looks like normal ebbs and flow of game plan and game flow offensively. And I like where we're going at on this. And so for the Baltimore Ravens, Tyler Huntley is a guy who is athletic. He's not as athletic as Lamar Jackson. He's got an arm, but he doesn't have an arm as strong as Lamar Jackson. He's a tier below. One thing about the Baltimore Ravens and having a quarterbacks with similar style and skill is that their offense doesn't have to change. They can continue to maintain the same game plan, the same type of, plan that they put in set for Lamar Jackson is probably going to be similar for Tyler Huntley. And so with that, the Steelers also don't have to change much of their game plan that they would use against Lamar Jackson. It'll probably go in hand. I'm not too concerned about the passing ability of Tyler Huntley. He seems to favor Mark Andrews when he's in the game. One thing about the Baltimore Ravens is that they're good for a trick play every now and then. And so usually, and last week, Duvernay had a pass thrown to the touchdown that was intercepted. That was a trick play. So I anticipate there being more. As far as Tyler Huntley, like I said, his main target is going to be Mark Andrews, their tight end. Gus Edwards is running, followed with being backed up by Kenyon Drake. They got a pretty good 1-2 punch there. The Steelers are going to have their hands full. Now, Tyler Linderbaum, he's a smaller center. He's a guy that a lot of folks were, hyping for going into this past draft process as a possible center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's a little bit undersized. I think the Steelers will be able to neutralize him with, with our defensive front seven. And so I'm looking forward to what this team can do. Let's see. But yeah, Deshaun Jackson, he's their newest receiver. But Duvernay is for sure their receiver number one. I think the Steelers are going to attack and blitz Huntley early and often as well. So I'm looking forward to this matchup. I think the Steelers match up well. I think the Steelers are going to win this game pretty handily, in my opinion. I know that I've been saying it's going to be a 3-pointer, but I think the Steelers got this. I think they really do. Now, I'm not saying they're going to blow them out or anything like that, but I do think the Steelers are going to be able to give a push here. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section or in the comment section. Hit me up. As far as keys to the game, the Steelers need to continue not to throw any interceptions. In the manner that they've won here recently, it's been very close games. It's been less than one score, And when you're in those type of games, you need to not turn the ball over. Those type of turnovers will be detrimental to what you're trying to accomplish. And so maintaining, games ball security and not turning over the ball is key in this game. You know, at the same time, you want to push the envelope a little bit and kind of spread the ball out and take some shots downfield, especially when you have somebody like George Pickens. And I know everybody was harping on him because he was, upset. And even myself, I don't like it. I don't like, him complaining the way he was and cursing out at coaches. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for the organization, and it's not a good look on himself. And so, um, in my opinion, though, you listen to Mike Tomlin's press conference, and he says he'd rather say "whoa" than "sick 'em," and I get it. He wants a dog out there. He wants somebody who's passionate about the game, somebody who's all heart. And not everybody in this game is that. You have certain players who are just physical beasts, and they go out there and they could care less if they win a Super Bowl. They just want to pad the stats, things of that nature. And or also you have guys who are like, I hate to put a name to it, but like Chase Claypool, he's not that guy that's going to go up there and take the ball away from anybody and be physical and be nasty and those type of things. So, you want a George Pickens, and you're going to want, it's a double-edged sword with what he does and has. It's going to come back at him. But let's see. We got some folks in the comment section. Let's see. We have George Teston here saying, "Go Navy." Drunk Turkey Show. Man, guys, if y'all aren't watching the Drunk Turkey Show, it's another show that I'm a part of. These are the guys that are watching. I'm in Big Blue. It's going pretty good. We're going pretty good. It's growing fairly fast, actually. We've been doing a lot of true crime type of stuff. So you're interested in that. We break down some murder mysteries. Let's see. George Teston. Every game is important, but got to start with this one. Yes, sir. For sure. Morning. Steeler fan says, "For sure we have this game in the bag." How's it going, Claude Bishop? And so I think the Steelers got a good chance to take this game. I think because of the fact that they're going to be targeting George Pickens, especially with Deontay Johnson, having some hip issues, I think that the Steelers end up putting some points on the board because of that. And so I'm actually going with the Steelers winning this game 24-12. Let me know in the live chat what you guys are thinking. I don't think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to put a touchdown against the Steelers. I think the Steelers' game plan is they're going to be able to contain them. And will they stop them from moving the ball across the 50 and limit them to some long field goals? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Especially when you have a guy that can kick one from like 60 yards. You just got to get on the other side of the 50. You don't have to get that close. And so, in my opinion, I think the Steelers are going to move the ball fairly well. They're going to target George Pickens, and I think that that's a good thing. I think he's going to be able to do some special things with the ball. I think he's a fantastic receiver. He's a fantastic talent. Like I said, he's passionate. He's gonna be a stud in this game, and he's due for a breakout game. This whole offense is, they've been on the verge of breaking out. Last week against the Falcons, they were moving the ball fairly well throughout the entire game. They had a couple of stutters here and there, but for the most part, the entire game was fairly well. They didn't have I don't think they had a 3 and out, and so. You're not going to score on every drive, but I think Presley Harvin only attempted 2 punts. And so, that's the kind of game you want. And, the difference there, or the downfall in that situation, was the fact that the Steelers put up field goals instead of touchdowns. And if, had they done so, converted on a few of those plays, and that game gets out of hand fairly easily. And so with that being said, the Steelers, I think, are due for a big game. I think they're due for a multi-touchdown game through the air, through the ground. I'm still not going to call that this game is it, but I mean, I think Pickens is going to be highlighted in this matchup, and I think he's going to be a difference maker. Let's see. If Pickens didn't step out of bounds before making that catch, looked like he wanted to go to the house. Yeah, true story. And I think we need to give Pickens an opportunity to catch the ball and do something with it. Some yards after the catch is crucial, and those type of big plays are momentum builders. I mean, just think about the Pat Freiermuth pass, where he caught the ball and then was able to go down the field 57 yards. I mean, that was awesome. That was amazing. And so, um, those type of situations, you have to put the player in position to make the yards after the catch. Him having to, fall to the ground or make an acrobatic, toe tap kind of catch in bounds isn't going to give him those yards after the catch. Give him an opportunity to catch the ball and do something with it, and not such a difficult catch. I think I want to say like 90% of the balls that he's caught have been, pretty difficult. Whether he's falling or going out or having, toe tapping, things of that nature. I think there's one that I remember which ended up being the touchdown that he has, was where he was able to catch the ball and do something with it after the catch. So I'm looking forward to that. Defensively, I think the Steelers are going to blitz Tyler Huntley, and they're going to force him to throw the ball. And I think, when you have someone like Minka back there, he's, getting healthier. I can tell you right now that a week removed from my surgery, which was the appendectomy that he had as well, that I feel a lot better. And I'm sure in a week I'll feel even more better. And so, and at this point, he's probably almost near 100%. Him and Kazi and Terrell Edmonds out there. I think that the defense is they're turning a corner as well. They just need to get the pressure back up. They've kind of not dropped the ball, but they've kind of gotten a little stagnant when it comes to getting a sack. And so we need a little bit more pressure coming from up front. And I think that's going to help get some more turnovers on the back end. But I'm thinking the Steelers win 24-12. Let me know in the comment section what you guys have as far as the score goes. But yeah, we'll probably be closing this out in the next 5 minutes or so, guys. But just kind of remind everybody also on Thursday, I'll be going live, and we'll be sharing the stream in the live chat, so that way you can join us and maybe come on the show and talk some Steelers football. It'll happen Thursday night. I'm not sure on the time. It'll probably be somewhere around probably about 8 or 9 or so. Maybe a little bit earlier. We'll see. But yeah, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, so that way you can, if you want to come on the show, you get notified about it. Let's see. Pickett looked good in the last 2 games. I want to see how he does back outside in the weather. I agree. I've when I've watched Kenny Pickett in these last couple of games, I thought he has looked better. My favorite throw of the last game was in the it was the first drive, I believe, and it was a 3rd down where he was looking off to the right and then turned to the left and hit Pat Freiermuth while he was going through his progressions in a window on time, and it was a conversion. I thought that was the best play he had. I thought that was a step forward. I haven't critiqued him on throwing the ball deep or inability or not willing to, because it's been inside. You can't ding somebody for something that they're not going up against. And so this week will be a good test. I hear that it's going to be kind of cold and a little gray out there, and so we'll see how he plays. I like it. Let's see. George Teston says it'll be close, but I say Steelers put it away 27-16. It's a good score. That's a good score. And like I said, with George Pickens probably getting a lot of these targets, I think that there's a good opportunity that he has a multi-touchdown game. I think he has it in him. I really do. And if you guys play fantasy or things of that nature, I would probably put George Pickens as I would start him in this game. Definitely him and Pat Freiermuth. I think Pat Freiermuth has developed into that Heath Miller type for Ben Roethlisberger, that security blanket guy. And I think he's going to get targeted even more, especially in this game when you are seeing the Baltimore Ravens probably blitzing a lot. As they blitz, the hot routes are going to happen. So I anticipate seeing that happen quite often. It's going to be a good game, y'all. I think the Steelers are going to win. And if they do, they move up to 6-7. The Baltimore Ravens will drop down to, I think, 8-5. We're going to be, scoreboard watching at that point because, at that point, the Steelers they're not in control of their own destiny at this point. We have to see some things have to happen in other places. And so, but fortunately for us, there's a lot of teams that are playing a lot worse than were anticipated. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I appreciate everybody in the live chat. Appreciate everybody joining. We'll be coming back on tomorrow after the game. So be on the lookout for that. Please hit that like and subscribe button. That being said, guys, I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers. Peace.